Hi everyone, welcome to a level 3 mat work workout today, and we are doing this post-storm. It doesn't look too bad out there now. I am going to use the mini ball, but it's always optional. If you don't have a mini ball, maybe grab something like a folded up pillow or rolled up towel that you can put between the knees for some of the inner thigh connection that we're going to do. Right away, you don't need the ball, just you and your mat for a little standing workout. And I just feel like getting nice and grounded through my feet today and then lengthening my spine. So hopefully you're feeling the same way. Take a nice breath in and just feel the soles of your feet relax into the mat. Let go of tension in the toes. Try to feel a little heavier through the balls of the feet, the outer border of the foot, the heels of the feet. Feel the knees be soft, not actively bent, but not hyperextended. And then from the pelvis, just lengthen. Lengthen up through the waist. Try to lengthen throughout the rib cage area. That's hard for us to do. A little lift of the breastbone without really altering the head posture. And then as you breathe in, I want you to let the shoulders climb up towards the ears. And on your exhale, just drop them down. Awesome. One more time. Climb the shoulders. Let the shoulder blades slide up towards your ears. Try to avoid the chin popping forward. And then relax the shoulders. Lengthen the neck. Reach the fingertips towards the floor. And then float those arms up and overhead. Leave them there. Reach the right arm a little taller. No side bend. Just get taller on that right side. And then soften the right knee. And switch. And switch. And switch. Just getting a lot of length in the side body here, between the individual ribs. Picture those ribs spreading. Keep the shoulder relaxed away from the ear as you do this, and tension free in the neck if you can. Last one there. Interlace the hands, press the palms towards the sky, and staying nice and grounded through the feet. Beautiful side bend. Up through the center and to the other side. You can be soft in the elbows, but try to be relaxed in the shoulders. Good. We're going to hold this one to the side you first started. You're going to lengthen more. You're going to keep the hips nice and still. Rotate through the upper body to look down at the edge of your mat. If it feels good there, you can let the hips pull out away from the hands. So you're really getting a nice length through the backside body there. Unwind, come up through the center, and let's go the other way. So your beautiful side bend for a second, longer and taller. Keep the hips still as you add the rotation. And only add the rotation if it feels good. Let the hips sway away from the hands. And then come up through the center. And relax it down. Good. A little bit of balance. So coming to stand on your left foot, right foot extending forward. Good. Hips are nice and level. Low back, nice and supported with the abdominals drawn in. And we're going to lift our leg. This is our version of the clock. We're going to lift the leg for 6, for 5, without any movement in the spine. 3, for 2, for 1. Beautiful. From there, I want you to let the leg cross over the midline. So if you were looking at your clock, 12 o'clock, you're now going over to like 11, 10 o'clock. Then come up through the center. Sweep the leg around out to your 3 o'clock position where you're going to lift it directly out to the side for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Keep the hips level. Feel that work in the hip, not in the waist. Reach back so that your leg is at the 6 o'clock. You've leaned ahead a tiny bit here. You're still neutral in your spine, and you're going to lift here for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and then let that leg sneak behind you. A real nice reach, 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 reach. Let the knee bend. Good. Come back up. And this time just a smooth sweep around 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Coming back up to 12 o'clock across the midline. Back to your 12 o'clock where you're going to lift once more for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Over to your 3 o'clock, directly out to the side, hips stay level, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and then circle back behind you, tipping forward at that hip just a little bit, just to allow yourself room to lift that back leg without letting the low back come into the movement, right? 3, 2, 1, and then bring that leg behind, really reach it beyond your midline. Try to get it way over to like 9 o'clock. Up through 6 o'clock, nice even sweep as you circle around 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, across the midline once more, back to the center and release, and just walk it out there. Then shifting your weight to the right leg, same thing. Left leg is in front. You're nice and tall through your spine. Keep the abdominals drawn in and the back supported as you lift the front leg. For 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Pause, let that leg go across the midline. You can soften the knee you're standing on. If you can get there, you can even let the pelvis follow a little bit. Up through the center. Circle around so that leg's directly out to the side. Flex the foot if you need to, but keep the hips level. So as that leg goes out to the side for 6, you don't want this movement, this hike of your hip pointer. You want that to stay nice and still. Good. Circle around behind you. Pitch a little bit forward and in the upper body, but still your neutral spine, and then lift the back leg for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and then bring the leg behind you, behind you, behind you, behind you. Really reach it over. Come back up. And a nice sweep as you go back through 9 o'clock on this side. Back to 12, across the midline. Pause back at 12, and we'll lift again once more for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Out to the side. Pause and lift there for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Bring that leg behind. You've pitched forward a little bit. Soften the leg you're standing on, and the back leg lifts from the hip. So use the bum muscle. Try to feel like you pre-activate the glute muscle to do that lift. Awesome. And then bring the leg behind you. Really try to reach it over to like 3 o'clock. See if you can get it way over there. Back behind you to 6. A nice smooth sweep around through 9 o'clock. Back to 12. Once more, cross the midline. Back to the center. And release and shake it out. Good. Taking a moment to be nice and steady in your feet, or nice and even in your feet, parallel. Breath in and out. And then on our next out breath, we're going to do a nice roll down. So on your out breath, letting that chin tuck back towards the throat. And then one bone of the back at a time, rolling forward. At the bottom, just softening the right knee. And then the left, just alternating here. And hopefully feeling that response in the hips that you just worked. You know, there's a little bit of a stretch maybe, or just a little bit of freedom in the tissues. Even out the weight, take a nice breath in, restacking. Opening up, across the chest, nice breath in. Out breath to nod the chin again. Roll it down. Hanging here for just a breath where you feel that breath go to your low back. Try to feel that expansion in the low back as you breathe in. As you breathe out, you're lifting the pelvic floor, you're drawing in the belly, and you're smoothly restacking. Yeah, good. Awesome, and then we're going to come down to sit on the mat, and this is where you'll want your mini ball between the knees, if you have it, or a rolled up towel, or whatever else you have to give yourself a little bit of inner thigh here. Use the hands for support if you need to. You're over your sit bones. Take a nice breath in on your out breath. You're squeezing in on that ball. You're lifting the pelvic floor and you're dropping back with that low back and leaving the shoulders over the hips, that little chin tuck so that you're in this nice C curve. And then coming back, pull forward and restack. Exhale. Roll back a little further on this one. Still supporting with the hands. Pull forward and restack. And remember, the ball's there for a reason. Exhale, squeeze in on the ball. This time you can raise the arms, you can roll back a little further if you're feeling good and warmed up, or you can take your time and continue to support with the arms. Exhale, squeeze in on the ball. Feel that inner thigh and pelvic floor connection. Roll it back, roll it back, roll it back, roll it back. Use that front body to pull forward. Restack. And exhale. This time you're peeling all the way down. So if you're not feeling warmed up in your spine yet, you can always place the hands and guide. Try to be, almost using your arms, a little bit of tricep work here as you help yourself to peel down. Or you can support behind the legs, or you can go and work on that smoothness without any aids at all. Good. Bend the knees. Feet are grounded to the mat here. Nice neutral pelvis. Take a breath in. And exhale, squeeze in on the ball. Lift the pelvic floor. Feel the belly respond. And then just breathe in and let all that go. And exhale to do it again. Good. Beautiful. Float the arms up now. Good. And as you breathe in, you're going to let those arms get nice and wide. You're going to hold the low ribs or that solar plexus area back. I'm running out of room on my ledge here, but you're going to go all the way to the floor. And on your exhale, you're going to pull everything back into the center, squeezing the ball and feeling that response in the abdominals. Breath in to get wide and exhale to bring it back in. And there's no change at all in your spine curve. So as you open, 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 you're still relaxed in the neck. You have no change in the low back pelvis or through that rib cage area, the thoracic spine. Awesome. Beautiful. Close everything up here and raise those arms overhead and feel that nice length, that nice stretch in the shoulders, right? Stop before you would raise the ribs. Good. Slide the shoulder blades down your back. Perfect. And imagine that you're doing the beginning of a roll up here. So as you breathe in, you're nodding the chin, you're floating the arms up, and you're aware of your shoulder blades staying wide and your collarbone staying wide. And on your exhale, you're just rounding up to reach those fingertips towards your calves, to squeeze in on the ball, to look at the ball or your pubic bone, depending how high you can come up, and then peel it back down. Relaxing in the head and neck, reaching the arms overhead and keeping those shoulders wide. Exhale, or inhale to overhead and exhale to. Hold it here on that breath in and exhale to peel it down. Let those arms go overhead. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale. So warming up the abdominals. Good. Exhale to peel it down, but also working on your neck alignment, right? Your shoulder blade placement. Good. And let's do another one like this. If it's really too hard to do this without some support, you could alternate which hand is supporting the head. Squeeze in on the ball here. Good. Take the arms behind the head. Lift a little higher and peel it down. Exhale, squeeze in on the ball. Peel it up. Take the arms, reach them down where you had them towards the calves, and then circle them around out to the side. Place the hands behind the head, lift a little higher, and then peel it down. Exhale to come up. Squeezing in on that ball. Reach the hands towards the calves. Reach here, reach here, reach here. Good, then keep up in the chest and head. Circle the hands to support that head. Check your alignment, lift a little higher, peel it down. Exhale to come up. Good, reach the hands towards the calves. Lift, 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 lift. Circle the hands, stay wide here. Be more elegant in the neck. Place the hands behind the head. Lift a little higher, squeeze in on the ball. Rotate to look to your right. Through the center, lower, lift, rotate to look to the left. Release and lower. Lift and rotate. Release and lower. Lift and rotate. Each time you're squeezing in on the ball, it's there for that reason. Release, lift and rotate. Exhale. Once more to the right. Release, once more to the left. Beautiful. And peel it down. Nice, eh? Gorgeous. Take those arms, place them down by your sides. On your out breath, allowing that low spine, that low back to gently move towards the mat. Peel it up, one bone to the back at a time. Good. At the top, heel raise. Put the heels down, lift the pelvis a tiny bit higher, and then peel down with the spine. Exhale, squeeze in on the ball, peel it up, lift the heels, lower, lift the pelvis a tiny bit higher, then peel it down. Exhale to peel up. Even weight through the balls of the feet as you lift those heels. As you return the heels, hips a bit higher, peel it down. Good. One more like this, peel it up. Lift the heels. Lower the heels, lift the hips a little higher, and now a little variation, lift the heels, and I want you to see if you can wiggle the heels together. You might have to move the balls of your feet, but your heels are pressed together, you're squeezing in on the balls, your feet are in that little V position. You're really going to feel the glutes here, hopefully, because we're going to lift and lower the pelvis a little bit. So mini lift and lower for 8, for 7, for 6, squeeze in on the ball, squeeze with the heels. Feel that in the inner thighs, the hamstrings, the glutes. How many are we doing? Awesome, good, hold it here, and then just squeeze in on the ball. 4, 3, 2, and 1, beautiful. Open the heels so the feet are in parallel, put the heels down, lift the hips higher one more time, and then peel it down, gorgeous. And then bring the knees in towards the chest. Give a little hug there. Yeah. Good. Perfect. And then we're going to come up to sitting again. You can keep the ball there if you want to just roll up or come to sit, however it feels good to you. We're going to work a little bit on our obliques here, a little bit on rotation. So ball, instead of being between the knees, just a little variation here between the ankles. Still working some inner thighs, but just in a different way, right? Our body loves variety and resists change. And I'd like your hands actually to be in I Dream of Jeannie. So you're going to take a nice breath in. And on your out breath, you're curling back as we started, but you're pressing in on the ball with the ankles. You're leaving the shoulders over the hips at first, then curling back to where you can control this. And we're going to turn. We're going to turn to the right. Pelvis stays still. Are the knees level? Of course they are, right? And then you're going to open. You're going to reach the right arm out to the side. You're going to look at it. Then you're going to bring it back. And you're going to come back to the center. So to the right again, little repeater to the right, open the right arm, look at those fingertips, feel the response in the abdominals, to the right again. Look at the knees for a second, are they level? Is that pelvis still? Good. Open, Back to I Dream of Jeannie, center. We're gonna do 3 more. Rotation, reach it out, reach it out, reach it out. You should really feel the obliques working there. You should really feel that that's sort of a maximum work for the abdominals. Otherwise, you can deepen into it. Rotate. Right? Make it so that you're working, but with good form. Rotation, reach. Good. And then pull forward, restack. And we'll do that same thing to the left. Exhale to roll it back, pressing in on the ball, lifting in the pelvic floor, and you're only rolled back as far as you can stay nice and flat in the abdominals. As you rotate, think of getting longer in the spine, and think of those knees staying still, pelvis staying still. Reach out with that left arm, bring it back, center. Rotate, reach, center. Rotate, reach, bring the arm back, center. Can you go a little deeper? Rotate, reach, bring the arm back, center. Rotate, reach, bring the arm back, center. Last one. Rotate, reach, bring the arm back, center, and pull forward. And restack. Gorgeous. Awesome. Coming down onto our backs one more time, and you have the option to put the mini ball underneath the pelvis. If you don't have a mini ball, you are just leaving the pelvis in neutral on the mat, right? But we're just gonna do a little bit of lovely hip work here. So keeping spine nice and in neutral, taking the arms and bending the elbows so those palms are facing in. Breath in to prepare. Before you breathe out, or as you breathe out, really feel the strength low in the pelvis. Feel that stability already coming into the low back, into the waist. Feel the pelvis staying heavy and relaxed on the ball or in that neutral position on the mat. Good, and then we'll come to raise the right leg to tabletop and relax it down. And then switch. And hopefully, this is a warm-up on the ball or a warm-up in neutral, but hopefully you're already feeling a little bit fatigued. We just worked the abs quite a bit, in basic style exercises. But hopefully you're already a little, awake and even a bit fatigued maybe in those deeper abdominal muscles, and you're feeling it here. Leave the left leg up in tabletop. Bring that right leg up to meet it. Beautiful. Good. And then we're going to do both legs lowering, but small. I want you to feel like you stop in tabletop, so you could even put the hands on the thighs in vertical. I don't want you to come beyond tabletop, right? So this is abdominal work the whole time. Already strong in the abs, and then you're going to move the legs away and bring them back up and stop at tabletop. Move the legs away as if you're going to tap both toes on the floor. And then you change your mind and bring it back up. If you're feeling really good, really strong in the abdominals, maybe you can tap the toes on the mat. But you really want to make sure you don't exceed what those abdominals can do. So you've drawn in with the abdominals. If you start to lose those flat abs and they start to bulge, then that's your limit. Or if you feel that movement on the ball or that shift out of neutral on the mat, right? Good. Last one. Yeah, oh, that's hard work. Lovely, good. From here, keep the tailbone down on the mat or on the ball. Relax the legs and then exhale to straighten them. Once you're up there, flex the feet and feel that, like lengthen the hamstring, that stretch in the back body, and then release. Little bounce, straighten, flex, press those heels towards the sky. Flex, stretch those heels towards the sky. Boom, 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 stretch. Flex those heels towards the sky. Flex, 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 flex. Awesome. Good. Point the toes now. And we're going to do scissors. So you lower the right leg, you leave the left leg up. And this is what you can control. Bring that right leg back up and switch. Switching at the top allows you a little sort of reprieve in the abdominals. And if you're feeling, I'm just feeling a little bit like this is my max, this is what feels good today. But if you're feeling a little more strength and ambition than me maybe, then you can switch in movement, right? You can be already lowering the right, so those legs pass at like a 45-degree angle, which I guess is doable today, but I'm gonna do the first version. So we're turning that right leg up before the left lowers, keeping that pelvis in neutral. Let's do one more each side. Boom. And boom. Perfect. And then a little circles with the leg. So you're gonna lower both legs, what you can control. This is small for me today. And then you're gonna open the legs a little bit, circle them back up to vertical and close them. So tiny circle for me, maybe bigger for you. Exhale to lower. Open, come back up, close. Open, back up, close. One more in this direction. Boom, open, close, and then we'll reverse. So open the legs first, lower them what you can control, close, and bring them back up. Open, lower what you can control, close, bring them back up. Those abdominals stay nice and flat, so as you lower, the abdominals draw back, draw back, draw back, draw back. The moment you can't maintain that is your limit. Make this one your last one. Close the legs, leave the thighs nice and still, bend the knees, straighten them back out. Bend the knees, straighten them back out. You can keep the hands on the thighs if you want to monitor that stillness. You can put them on the mat for a little support, or you can challenge yourself and have them off. Good. For 3. For 2. Oh yes. For 1, beautiful, good. And bend both knees, bring them in towards the chest. And then hold the left knee in, straighten out that right leg. Feel that length in the front of the hip. And switch. It's always lovely to lengthen after that sort of work. And perfect. Lower both legs so you can get off of the ball. Good. We're going to come onto our side from there. A little bit of side work. We're going to have the ball underneath as an option, right? If you don't have the ball, then what I'd like you to do is be up on the forearm, right? So I'm going to pretend that I don't have the ball, and I'll be up on the forearm. But just know if you have the ball, you can use that as feedback under the rib cage. Hips face forward. Good. Top arm on the top hip or behind the top, behind the ear. Press the chest away from the mat, hold the ribs back, and then we lift that top leg and we circle right away. Little circles, little circles, little circles, little circles. As you go through the highest point of your circle, I want you to lift more in the rib cage. Pause, reverse, circle the other way. The hips are staying nice and still. The waist is nice and still. Feel that work in the abdominals. So when you put the hand on your belly, you should feel that they're working to control the rib cage movement and to control the pelvis movement. Good. Hold this one here. Flex the foot. Sweep it forward what you can control. Point and sweep back. Sweep it forward what you can control. Point and sweep back. Just for 2 more. Beautiful. Yes, good. Hold it here. Take that bottom leg and see if you can lift it to meet the top. Good. As you lift the bottom leg, try not to collapse in the upper body. Right? You're not getting that bottom leg to lift by lowering the rib cage. You're using that inner thigh. Good. For 2. For 1, hold it here. Lift a little more in the rib cage. Lift a little more in the legs. And just for 3, you're going to scissor both legs. For 3, yes. For 2, for 1, don't we love it? Perfect. And lower. Bend the knees. Come up into a little mermaid stretch. Just to feel good in that side that you were weight bearing through. Good. And then just to prepare also for a little bit of side plank work. Low side plank. So coming to have that forearm once again on the mat. If you had it there before, or if you had the ball, you're getting rid of the ball. Forearm on the mat, really pressing that rib cage away from the mat, being open in that shoulder. If you have shoulder issue, always option to do it from the knees, but where you're level 3, you're going to try to do it from the feet, either with the feet stacked or staggered. So I'm going to do staggered legs today, I think. Take a nice breath in and press up into that nice, lovely, long, aligned side plank. Breath in here. Good. Now, you can, optional, to just hold, lower, and come back up for a few. Or, if you're feeling good endurance with this today, come up to your beautiful position. And we're going to add a little rotation of the upper body. So you're going to reach that front arm forward and overhead a little bit. Look down at the mat. Come back to face straight ahead and feel those obliques a little bit, eh? So you have boom and boom. Good. We can do 3 more, right? For a total of 6. 3. Oh, that's work in that shoulder. Work in that underside body. Perfect. Hold it here, whatever version you're doing. Take that arm, reach it overhead, overhead, overhead. Back up and lower at the hips. Awesome. We like it, eh? Come back up to do that mermaid stretch again. Reaching overhead, reaching overhead, reaching overhead. And then coming to have the arms out to your sides. Reaching to put that right arm, if you're doing the right side, if your right elbow is down, whichever side you were just on your elbow, put that hand on the mat. The other hand is out to the side, and you're just going to rotate. You're keeping the hips down, rotating from the waist up to try to put that free arm on the mat beside the other arm. And if you're tight in your rotation, you won't be able to do that. The arm will fall a little short, and that's okay. But whatever your limit is there. Take a nice breath in, try to feel tall out of the top of your head, and breathe into wherever, usually in the rib cage, wherever you feel that rotation sort of tension, right? And then release, and come up, and we'll do the other side. So if you have your mini ball, you can be on the ball for the first part, and just propped up on your elbow, or if you don't have the ball, you're up on the forearm, right away with the hips stacked, top arm behind the head, or on that top hip, raising that top leg, and circles right away. As you circle, you're lifting a little more in the rib cage, lifting a little more in the rib cage, lifting a little more in the rib cage. Pause, reverse. Right? Feel the abdominals. If you put the hand there, feel them reacting and trying to steady the pelvis and trying to steady the rib cage. Good. Pause here. Flex the foot. Sweep it ahead, what you can control. Point and sweep back. We have a small base of support, so this could be very tiny, especially if you're on the ball, right? This might not be a big sweep, and that's okay. It's what you can control. For 2 more. For 1. Perfect. Hold it there. Lift a little more in that rib cage, and then try to bring bottom leg to meet the top leg, and down, and again. Good, and you're not dipping in the rib cage, right? You're really feeling a lot of work in the top body, but you're trying to feel like you're reaching long out of the bottom of the feet. Yes. And last one, hold it here, hold it here, hold it here. Lower it down. Good, bend the knees. Come up into that lovely mermaid stretch. Back down for our plank work. So side plank, from the knees if you have some shoulder issue on the side, feet stacked, feet staggered. Hips face forward though. You're not collapsed. You're lifted, lifted, lifted. You're smiling. And you have the choice of just coming up and down, just practicing, or staying up and doing the rotation. So nice breath in, to lift the hips, to reach that top arm towards the sky, to feel long out of the tips of those fingers. And then either rotating to look down at the mat and coming back up. Rotating, coming back up. You'll notice the hips don't move there. This is just a little bit of rotation in the trunk and back up. And I lost count, but I think we have 2 more. Feels like we have 2 more. Last one. Hold it here, whatever version you're doing. Put that arm overhead, 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 overhead. And relax it down. Come back up for that little mermaid stretch again. To lengthen from that hip parade up through the tips of the fingers. And then put the arms out to your sides. That one that you were just putting weight on, you're going to reach that way. Put that arm on the mat. Both hips are staying. You might not have both like sit bones touching, but however you were able to be, you're trying to stay in that same pelvis position as you put the hand down and not feel that hip lift way up. Take a nice breath in. On your out breath, you're rotating. You're getting taller. You're trying to put that free arm down on the mat beside the other one that's there. Maybe it falls just a bit shy. Mine does today. And you breathe into wherever you feel that it's tense, maybe in the rib cage, very likely in the rib cage. And then try to go for that length. Try to get taller out of the top of your head. Release. And come up. Gorgeous. Come onto hands and knees from there. Good. We're going to do a little cat stretch and cow. So on your first out breath, just a general, moving into that lovely cat stretch position, that rounded spine, that flexed spine. And then moving into the opposite position where you feel the tailbone lift, the crown of the head lift, and you sag the spine into a little bit of extension, just what's comfortable there. Once more into that beautiful cat stretch. Once more into the extension of the spine, the cow. I don't know why they call it a cow. I have never seen a cow with a sway back like this. Anyway, curl the toes. Walk the hands back towards the feet. And on your out breath, roll it up one bone at the back at a time. Open across the chest. And then your favorite stretch. Feet wide, arms wide. Take a nice breath. Bend and scoop. Exhale to sit back with the hips. And fold forward at the waist. Roll it up one bone at the back at a time. Then always twice. Bend and scoop. Exhale. Fold forward. Roll it up. And there you go. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in, for joining. And I hope you feel as good after that as I do. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.